وفي فتح الباري لابن حجر العسقلاني أن عثمان رضي الله عنه قال: من أكتب الناس؟ قالوا زيد بن ثابت. قال: فأي الناس أفصح؟ قالوا سعيد بن العاص. فقال: فليمل سعيد وليكتب زيد. So in this narration they were checking based on these copies that they had, and he asked Sa'id to say it and for Zayd to write it down. ولما انتهوا من نسخ المصحف جعل منه نسخا وأرسلها إلى الأمصار، وقد اختلف في عدد النسخ هذه، فمنهم من قال هي 4 ومنهم من قال 5 وقيل 6 و7. ثم جمع ما سوى هذه النسخ من القرآن فأحرقها وأمر إلى أهل الأمصار بذلك. Then Uthman radiallahu anhu ordered that 5 or 6 copies should be made from that copy that Zayd ibn Thabit wrote, and he sent a copy to each region, one to Bahrain, one to Mecca, one to Iraq, Basra, and so on, into different regions, so they can refer to them. That will be the master copy. So if they were to make copies later, they refer to that copy. That's why if you open now the Mus'haf, they call it Al-Mus'haf Al-Uthmani. Al-Mus'haf Al-Uthmani. And originally, of course, it was written with no dots on the alphabets, with no accents, Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra, nothing from that. This is how they used to write in the past. وقد كان جمع عثمان رضي الله عنه للقرآن لما كثر الاختلاف في وجوه القراءات على اختلاف لغات العرب. Now the reason why he wanted to make a master copy for each region, because you know people, the Arabs at that time, they used to have different accents, different way of reading, although they all speak Arabic, but sometimes different ways. So they won't recite the Quran in a way that the Prophet ﷺ did not read it. He wanted to make the master copy. And when people had a bit of dispute about certain words, how they should be written, then Uthman radiallahu anhu said to them, write it in the way the people of Quraysh would write. And because the Quran was sent down to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and was revealed to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam in a way that it can be read in different ways. And that's what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. In some of the narrations, the Prophet mentioned that the Quran was revealed in 7 ways. So recite it based on whatever is easier for you. So when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited the Quran in different ways, this is known as al-qira'at as well. This is known as al-qira'at. Some words may be different from one recitation to another, to make it easier for people. For instance, I'll give you one example. A tribe of the Arabs from the tribe of Tamim, for instance, they never used to spell or to pronounce the Hamza. When they say, for instance, mu'minun, Quraysh would say mu'minun. But people of Tamim, the tribe of Tamim, would say mu'minun, mu'minun. This is how they used to say the Arabic. Man amana, man amana. See how we say man amana? They say manamana, manamana. So they combine it in this way. So there are ways of reciting the Quran, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited it, and he was telling Jibreel to recite it to him in different ways. So Jibreel would recite, then the Prophet would say, add to me. Then Jibreel would recite it in a different way. Then the Prophet will tell him, recite it also in another different way. From how the Arabs at that time used to recite to make it easier for them. Just to not, that's not the case, but just to make it easier for you to understand. See, for instance, now, the Arabs now are in different countries. Yeah, the way they speak Arabic is different from one country to another. Sometimes in the same country, those in the south speak different from those in the north, and so on. Imagine if you were to say to all those Arabs, I want you to speak only in one way. How hard it would be for them. But none of the languages now spoken, the dialect spoken by people now, none of the dialect spoken by people is correct. Yeah, they are called Arabs, but there is no formal language that they speak. All broken, unfortunately. But at that time, yeah, they used to speak the formal Arabic language, but in a different way. So to make it easier for them, the Prophet ﷺ kept on asking Jibreel to recite it in different ways so they can read it in that way. ثناء الناس عليه رضي الله عنه. قال الإمام علي ابن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه: كان عثمان من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات ثم اتقوا وآمنوا ثم اتقوا وأحسنوا والله يحب المحسنين. So Imam Ali praised Uthman رضي الله عنه. Now you will see that all those four caliphs, they used to love each other. So Imam Ali is praising Uthman, and he's saying he's amongst those that Allah praised in the Quran, and saying about them that they believed in Allah and they performed good deeds and they were pious and they believed and they were pious and they were generous, and Allah Azza wa Jal accepts those who are generous. So Ali is praising Uthman رضي الله عنهم أجمعين. وروى الإمام أحمد رضي الله عنه عن رهيمة جدة الزبير بن عبد الله أنها قالت: كان عثمان يصوم الدهر ويقوم الليل إلا هجعة من أوله. So Imam Ahmad narrated that Uthman radiallahu anhu used to fast nearly all the days, except for the days that he cannot fast. But most of the days he's fasting. And he used to stay awake all night praying, except for, you can say, a nap that he would take at the beginning of the night. In some narrations, it was a continuous chain of narrations, Uthman once recited the whole Quran in one rak'ah at night. The whole Quran. Now, if someone now were to recite the whole Quran, without stopping, and he's a bit quick in recitation, you can say maybe it will take with him about 15 hours. And let us say every juz' half an hour, if he's quick. So 15 hours. So how would Uthman radiallahu anhu be able to recite the whole Quran in one rak'ah at night? Allah Azza wa Jal blessed his time. So he would perform good deeds, a lot of good deeds, in such a short period of time. That's a karama for him.